Hey, welcome to Bout That Life Podcast. I'm Coach C.Collins.
It's Coach MJ, GGT.
And I know we've been gone for a while, but we're back and we're at it and, having another good episode for you guys. So, we've been gone for a little while because, just quite honestly, we've had some pretty busy events in California.
Yep.
We ended up with a bunch of lightning strikes and
Fires.
Yeah, fires all over the place. Our cameraman Ty, he couldn't film that week because he had to be ready for evacuations. But everything's cool, Ty. So I'm happy for you, man. Happy for you, brother, and glad that all worked out. And then Mark went on a trip that we're gonna get later on too in the episode, which was very enlightening. Yes. I'm sure.
Good trip.
So and then now we finally are back and we can bring you guys episode 9. So. Hey, we made it past the 7-episode mark, so we're still here. Again, thank you guys for who have been supporting, following us on social media, noticing our subscribers on YouTube going up little by little, sending us messages. I know I've had a few parents talk to me at courtside who said they seen our stuff, so
nice.
We appreciate it a lot because all we're trying to do is just talk basketball and really put some good content out there for everybody and give parents and coaches alike, some type of context of how to navigate all this craziness. So, big appreciation for that. Again, hit that like button. It always helps. Hit the subscribe, hit the follow. It always helps. One small click for you, big help for us. So, going into today's episode, we're going to talk about courtside. They had another showcase. Shout out to Elijah Wan and all he's doing there. My man is severely overworked right now,
grinding,
but he is doing a phenomenal job. And it's not enough people that necessarily you'll hear 100 complaints before you hear a compliment, right? So I definitely want him to know he's doing an outstanding job. Also, we added a team to YBA, so we'll get more into that too. It was formerly Team Touch, and now it's another 16U elite team with the Rose Twins and Derek Lamb, and a lot of new additions. Kid that Mark trains and works with as well. So
Pouncy.
Yeah, so it's a lot of good stuff happening in our club in AAU. But before we get into that, I got to introduce our first guest. His name's Jay Hester, and his unique perspective is he is a parent. He's our first parent and our first white guy. So let's go to it. So, I had to put that out there, but no.
Your podcast is dude.
No, he real good, real cool cat, man. Real good brother. Me and him have gotten really close. I've actually coached / trained his son since 6th grade, right? Yeah. And we've been through a lot together. His son is currently on my 16U elite team. And we're going to talk all about him and his journey and Jay's perspective as a parent and just seeing how everything unfolds. Because, we hear from refs, we've heard from players, right? We've heard from coaches, but let's get a parent's perspective. I think that's one venue that's obviously highly important because AAU basketball doesn't exist without them.
Yep.
Our jobs, training, don't exist without you guys and believing in what we do. So I really am really happy you're here on the show. So let me give you guys a brief summary of who he is. He's been a professor at Sierra College for 14 years, been teaching 20 plus years. So appreciate that from a kid who's been at the JC level. Really appreciate that.
It's a grind.
He teaches both U.S. and African American history. So you guys who might be seeing that and heard that right, yes, we have a Caucasian professor who's teaching African American history.
And it comes up every semester.
So if you're at Sierra College, hey, okay, this is him. All right. So his son Eli has been in basketball since he was 7, AAU since 5th grade. He's played with me since 6th grade. He did Hot Shots?
Hot Shots Elite was the first.
Right.
Played with one of your other podcast guests, TJ Little.
Yeah. Coach Little. Yep. That was right. A stepping stone.
Yeah, it was. It served its purpose.
Exactly. So no, I'm glad. Glad you guys got led to YBA, or
Yeah, we are too.
He grew up all over the country. What did you say? Connecticut, Illinois.
Yeah, I was born in Connecticut and Illinois and Massachusetts, and then California, then grad school in Missouri where I drugged my wife, and then Michigan, Ann Arbor. And but I was joking with you. All over the country, but suburbs pretty much everywhere. So just the carbon copy, just white. It's all over the country. No diversity.
No diversity.
I like this show already.
All right, this is gonna be good. And then this is really gonna be a really fun episode with Mark and Jay, because he is a Boston Celtics fan.
Yeah, it's okay, Mark. It's all right. We'll figure it out.
Lake show all day. Lake show all day.
And wait, does it say Cubs and Bears? Cubs fan?
Yeah, well, I grew up in Chicago.
Oh,
It's
okay.
when Walter Payton,
Yeah.
Sweetness, played
Yeah.
for the Bears, so
Okay.
became a Bears fan and became a Cubs fan. So
Okay, nice. Well,
So-
I'm glad you're on the show, and glad we got a good history of you. It's like I said, it's already feeling like a good episode.
yeah.
Give him some applause, man. So, my first question to you.
Uh-huh.
So, let's talk about being a parent in AAU. That world has to be interesting, because think about, obviously our experience from where we started is kind of like this C-D level group in the thick
Right.
white bulletproof jerseys we used to have, and
Yeah.
and
Until Ken finally kicked down.
yeah, exactly. Shout out to Ken for
Yeah.
shopping in Taiwan for $10 jerseys made by a 6-year-old. So like can we do a little better? But
shit.
at this current point, and I mean, like, even today, I know we got our games tomorrow for the showcase, but just
Right.
all the history. How do you feel overall about AAU? I mean, just the experience of the AAU experience, the AAU basketball experience.
Well, I mean, for us, it started, as I think it starts with a lot of parents. You get your kid in rec ball just to get them active and away from a computer screen 24/7. And then there was a point where another parent said, "Hey, there's an open spot." At that point, it was on Hutch's Little's team, and so Eli went out and made the team. I think for me, that decision to go to AAU was to give him something that he could focus on physically, to really try to dedicate himself to and get into that competitive environment. Because I think, generationally speaking, sometimes it's harder now than previous generations to kind of find that space where kids get pushed to places where they're uncomfortable and asked to really go outside of what they're used to, what they're comfortable doing. There's a lot more, I don't use the word coddling, but well, maybe that is the word. But
Yeah.
it's and so I think AAU really kind of, there's no compromise. You either go and you perform and you try hard, or you don't, and you don't continue to play. So.
Right. No, I agree. And then I think, and maybe Mark, you can touch on this one too. Like, I think then once the kids see the growth, they don't want to go backwards. You know what I mean? Like once Eli started, getting that growth, and because I think back, remember, was it 7th grade when he kind of did the hardwood hoops with his
Yeah.
buddies for fun?
Oh, yeah.
Hardwood Kobe.
Hardwood Kobe.
Yeah, Hardwood Kobe. We called him Hardwood Kobe.
You called him Hardwood Kobe.
All right, my bad. I did call him Hardwood Kobe. But it's like, you could tell, like, yeah, he's doing it for fun, but there's no way he would ever want to go back
No.
to that. You know
Oh,
what
no.
I mean? Like,
Well, it's funny too because as he's on your elite team, but he's not one of your top players.
Yeah.
He's probably going to hit me in the face when I get home.
he's a glue guy.
But no,
There's
is.
nothing
He's,
wrong with it.
He's a glue guy. He's so, but it's to see him play for you for a year and then go back and play, whether it's rec ball, hardwood hoops, or his middle school basketball team, and dropping 20, 25 points a game when he wasn't doing that.
Yeah. Right.
But that's not what he does on your team. That's not his role on your team.
Yeah.
But because the competition is just so much stronger. Like,
But to be fair, again, he is good at what he does for us. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like he plays 2 minutes and then sits down. Like, there's been some, obviously, throughout.
Yeah.
Because just so you have context, Mark, like, Eli's probably played well over 300 games for me. If you
Oh,
really
yeah.
want to add it up,
Yeah.
it's been
Well, not just played, but played substantial minutes.
Yeah.
And I think that's you won't get many compliments from me during this podcast, but I'll throw one out. I'll throw one out right now. I will say, AAU coaching wise, sometimes I've seen other coaches who play their first 80-90% of the game, and the bench just kind of sits there, and I could see as a parent getting really frustrated with that. That's not really how you coach the kids. Yeah, the starters are going to get more time. I expect that, but if you pick up a kid to play on your team, you intend to play them, because I think there's an understanding that winning games is great, but ultimately the goal of AAU is to get these kids to the point where they're playing at a level that's good enough where hopefully they can sort of transfer that into maybe a college scholarship at whatever level, right? Like we've talked about this with Eli. Like his goal is a strong academic institution, D3, which you've promised me a scholarship, and now it's on the podcast.
Now it's on tape. So I have to make that happen now, Mark. I guess you all are witnesses now.
So if the University of Chicago is hearing this,
I got you. I got
okay.
you.
All right.
Well, I want to talk about Eli's journey, because I really, I really think his journey is more of a reflection of a realistic standard of basketball player. You know what I mean? Because each, even at the AAU level, even the top tier AAU level, even though they're mainly comprised of all-star teams, right? Mm-hmm. That's essentially what they are. You still have your 2 or 3 star players who it's built around, and other guys find their roles, you know what I mean? And like you said, for your son, his journey outside of AAU, he gets that shine or gets that bigger role, but then with us, his role is narrowed, but it's still essential, you know what I mean? And, I want to talk about how him not being the best player, him being a glue guy, on this team and that journey through the years, how's it felt for you as a parent? Or have you ever, like you said, I play my kids, but have you seen or interacted with other parents who've maybe been on the other side of that and how they felt, or just like,
you mean been on the other side with other parents that have kids that I would call glue guys, that aren't happy, that don't sort of definitely definitely, and we've had a number on our team that and I think part of it is, as an AAU parent, and I think somehow this might explain some of the interesting behavior we see at AAU tournaments by parents.
Right.
Is you've got so many, I think, competing emotions going on, right? It's your kid, right? And you love that, more than almost any other thing on the planet.
Sometimes, right? Sometimes.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, you still love it. That thing. No, you still love your kid, but frustrating as hell at times.
Right.
So there's that, and then there's also you want them to have success, and I think sometimes as parents we might confuse positions, playing time with your student. Listen, the teacher and me, your kid doing better when in fact they're not doing better, and they should not get more playing time. So I think that's a challenge, and I've seen parents of players like my own get really frustrated. Yeah. Like really, and leave the team. Like really frustrated with you. Just like, why aren't they playing more? This is crazy. He's the best player on the team. Yes, he can't make it up anyway. But it's just like, just leave that where it is. So it's interesting watching that. And in the flip side of that, parents of players that are, the top players, they get a lot of playing time. That's a different perspective, I think, and it'd be interesting sometimes you could get one of those parents, because they're dealing with different. Eli's a good player, but I don't get phone calls from, Lillard or these, circuit teams saying, hey, can your kid come play for us? And so I don't have to deal with that. Yeah. And I've told you this before, and just watching that process and people do that kind of thing, it never seems to me to be a good idea to make a lateral AAU move. If like you're thinking of moving your kid off a team and the kid likes the team, likes the chemistry, he's getting in competitive games, why would you move? Like our team is one of the best in the Sacramento area easily. And
I think in Northern California for sure.
Well, you would know that more than I would. But to go, unless you're going on to a circuit team, like that's going to be guaranteed circuit games, I don't understand why you would move. But people do stuff.
And we've talked about that, Mark, right? Like several times. Like you know, the lateral moves,
Yeah.
you know, it just don't make sense to me with the kids sometimes because I'm like, why go to a new environment?
Mm-hmm.
Don't know the coach, don't know the players. Obviously, on circuit teams, kids are going to be more selfish, right?
Yeah.
Because they're all trying to get theirs,
Yeah.
as opposed to like Eli can be with the guys that he's been growing with since 5th, 6th grade.
Yeah.
And they know that I have their best interest at heart, and I'm going to get them to their goal or their dream regardless. You know what I'm saying?
I think a lot of it too, especially with the kids, especially this generation, is because of social media, the hype, the clout.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They see it on social media, so they want to be in that environment, knowing at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, are you worthy for that? You know,
Yeah.
are you at that level? You know,
Yeah.
but like I said, a lot of these kids are on their phone and they see Baller's Life, they see Overtime, they see Slam and
Simply.
Exactly, they see
Yeah.
Simply, you know, and they want to be there, not knowing that, you know, it's not that easy.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And then I think on top of it too, what I always try to remind my kids is the team wins.
Yeah.
It's not, you know, Jaden won. Like, no, Jaden might have been our leading scorer, but the team did the job.
Right.
And again, it's just like when we were talking earlier, you know, Vanden won a state ring,
Yeah.
right? The whole team, I don't care if you got a bunch of playing time or a little bit of playing time, that whole team won state. You know what I'm saying? So I tell the kids, if let's just take Trevor or Jaden, for example, those two, if they're out there playing good and they're shining, let's say Trevor ends up 6'10" and gets all these D1 looks, well, if those D1 colleges are coming to see him, well, where do you think the D2 and the D3s and the NAI, they're going to be there too.
Yeah.
And they're going to see you right out there with them.
Yeah.
Because those colleges are very realistic too. They might look at a Trevor like, no, I'm not going to get that kid, but oh, hey, I like that kid. Like he's hustling hard, he's working hard. That's the type of kid I need in my school.
Yep.
Oh, what's his GPA? 4.4. Like, no brainer. He's on my school. You know what I mean? Like that's what I try to remind parents and kids. Like if the team does well, inherently everyone's going to do well.
Exactly.
I think.
They get that exposure to those coaches, which they probably wouldn't get otherwise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's it. I mean, and I guess I'm just saying the quick version, but I mean, like, you know, for you as a parent, has the growth in the investment been worth it? You know what I mean? Like, obviously, like we just talked about, our plan is to get Eli potentially to a Division III because that's where we kind of see his niche. You know what I mean? Because I think roughly he'll probably end up 6'2". What do you think?
Yeah,
6'2",
he's
6'3"?
6'1" right now.
Yeah,
so.
he'll be like 6'2" at minimum. Like
Yeah,
so I think 6'3". Let's say on the high end 6'5". Hey, who knows, right? But
so what do you have him? You know, talking about basketball terms, was he off the ball? Is he point guard? What do you?
He's really more like, so the best way I could put it is think of OKC like Roberson. Roberson with a little bit of Dennis Rodman, like real hard worker, defensive guy, can slash, get you an occasional bucket, but scoring is his biggest hurdle. You know what I mean? Like like where Roberson couldn't make a damn free throw. Like it's
Eli makes his free throws.
Yeah, he does
so
make his free throws now. That is true, but
that's correct your ass on that.
That's I would say the missing piece for him. He does everything you want a player to do in terms of the dirty work.
Yeah.
But obviously he needs just some offensive arsenal to really get himself over the hump. I think once he does, he'll be like Division III ready because he's already a brilliant kid. For you guys who might be listening don't know, this kid, 4.0 student, most likely going to be a 4.0 career student, the way he is very meticulous about it. And Division IIIs, they're all academic schools, you know what I mean? And there's some good basketball Division IIIs, like some good basketball. And it's just like, I always go back what Ted says, it's, you're getting a discount on your education. That's really what it comes down to. You get a discount on your education.
For a 16-year-old kid, he's got a very sort of mature outlook for that. Like he's for him, it's all about finding a way to play ball in college to help pay for school because, it's not going to be cheap.
Yeah. And then, and doesn't he want to be a surgeon?
He does. He wants, at least right now,
Yeah.
he's in the Health Academy in Oakmont High School, which has been already kind of a cool experience for him, even with the current situation.
He'll be a basketball playing surgeon.
Yeah.
Right? That's the first time on this show, Bout That Life, talking about a basketball player wanting to become a surgeon.
Exactly.
That's a good thing.
You know
like
what I
that.
mean? And so his dad and his mom are definitely, I'll give you this one compliment. You guys are definitely putting him on the right path. No,
We're trying.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like between the camps, obviously the club, hiring me as a coach and trainer, just all we've invested in trying to help your son.
No, it's definitely been worth. I don't know if it's definitely been worth it. I mean, there's parts of it where I probably would have not done one thing or the other, but they're little things like. I think we did the Phenom Camp a couple summers, and that was kind of, no bad, mojo to the Phenom Camp, but it wasn't what we thought it was going to be.
Exactly.
And I think a lot of those camps can be challenging, at least below high school level. I mean, if you're not getting an invite and there's not going to be coaches there, I can do that stuff locally.
Exactly. Right.
So that's a bit challenging. But overall, no, I don't have any regrets.
All right, perfect. Well, then. Let's talk about just the AAU experience, like at the game, at the showcase, all the travel. Like, let's talk about you being a parent in the crowd. There's obviously some really good times, and we've seen some shit. We've seen some good and bad times.
Some stuff.
Because, like I said, it's been 300 plus games, so
it has.
All over the country, really. I mean,
and for those folks, most people out here probably listen or watch AAU or have kids in AAU. So, but if you go from rec ball, watching your kid play rec to AAU, it's rec. Most of the parents are sane, and then you get to AAU, and it's a whole different ball of wax. And speaking, it's me as well. I mean, I've had moments where I'm like, did that just come out of your freaking mouth? And so I was just thinking about, like, if I could tell somebody that's got a kid that's just thinking of becoming an aide,
right.
What would be best?
Yeah.
How to, things like
give them your advice. They need to hear
okay.
it.
Well, then I'll throw a couple things out there. Don't coach your kid from the bench during the game. Let the coaches do that. Even Eli, a couple times. Yeah, I know.
Y'all can't see Ty behind the camera, but he loves that. He loves that one.
I know. And even though fully well, I think I did it last week. I to Eli, just like, what are you doing? So, because half the time they can't hear you, and the other half the time it just pisses them off anyway. They go into the tank. Don't yell at refs. As a parent, like, to me, it's not going to make a difference in the game. And again, I've been one of those. I think yesterday I said something like, are you going to call the other guy calling fouls at all? But I just don't think that's helpful. A big no-no for me is don't talk to the players of another, like somebody else's kid on an opposing team. That's a big no-no. Yeah. And I get it sometimes. And again, that's part of it. You get in, you're so vested in that moment, right? Your kid's playing. It's a close game. If it's a really close game, and it's just the fevers are running high. What else? Oh, don't confuse what missed opportunities you had in athletics as a kid with your own child, because I'll come clean. So I tried out for my freshman basketball team back in 1984. To date myself. Shut up. You didn't just have your first white guy, your first old white guy. 1984, and I was 6 feet. But I'd never touched a basketball in my life,
man.
And got cut during tryout. Like, it was just like, I was even at 6 feet. They're
During
like, we
tryout?
can't even. Yeah, it was bad, Mark.
That's when they tap you on the shoulder, like,
it was bad.
Hey, better luck next year.
So you didn't get a chance to look on the list and see if you made the list?
No, they just during the actual. It was like, Jay, we're sorry to let you. I'm like, dude, that guy's like 3 feet tall. Yeah, but he can dribble. Okay. All right. Okay. So I think that's another problem you run into with parents is, like, if we're not careful, we don't think about it, we live vicariously through our kids. Yeah. And it can create real problems.
Yeah,
so
no, you're right.
I think for me, the more I yell less now than I did probably 2 years ago, and it just enjoy it and, be there for your kid. Don't undercut the coaches. Like, if, you and I talk all the time, and usually you and I are on the same page. And if I have something, I'll just, I'll tell you, like, go talk to him. Yeah. I'm not going to talk to him most of the time.
That's
unless
great.
you want me to.
And parents need to hear that. Encourage your kids to talk to coaches, not you talk to coaches, because when you get to high school and college level, ain't no talking.
No.
To go.
And I mean, I think there's if you know, there's an interest in the kid wanting you there, but the kid should be the one talking and really directing the conversation, not the parent. So I don't know.
No, this is all great stuff. I'm glad you're saying it. Because parents, you know.
No, like, and then tomorrow I'll do like half the ones I just like I'll be dropping F-bombs or like at Eli across. I'll be yelling at a ref.
You're passionate.
Yes, I'm very passionate, and my wife is very passionate as well.
Oh, so, Crystal, she's definitely has her moments.
She is, but you know, with all that being said, and the parents that listen to this that are on our team, we have, to me, one of the best groups of parents, even though sometimes we're effectively dysfunctional as a group.
Yeah.
I think it's a testament to the fact this team has been together as long as it's been together.
Right, because our team, 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. We keep adding players. You know, first it was Jaden, and then Matthew and Eli came along, and we keep Trevor and Tristan, and you know we've just.
And even though we haven't seen Daniel in forever,
he'll be back.
He'll be back. Right. So, and Mark, that's the thing. You remember I talked about last episode, like the long game. I'm always looking for the long game. This is the example of it. You know what I mean? Because one thing I could tell coaches out there, if there are coaches who just listen and kind of want to pick my brain or what I see, you, on top of recruiting players, you do need to recruit parents. You need to gauge what type of parents you're getting, because we've had some interesting ones along the way, and you need to kind of gauge, okay, did they play a sport, or if they didn't, what's their temperament, if they're, like you said, you're in the game and you're yelling a couple things like, come on, make the shot, or I mean, that's whatever, that's part of the context. But if you're saying, don't pass to them, shoot the ball, I mean, that's a totally different tone of conversation, like you really, coaches, my biggest advice for you guys, if you hear this, like, really gauge your parents along with the kids. Like, the kids being super talented, that's great. Like, of course, talent speaks volumes, but you need to know your parents. I mean, I even do that on the training aspect. Now, do you do that, Mark? Like, I know I do.
No, I do. I definitely, especially with the training, I mean, especially now moving forward, since, I'm starting to get into it more. Yeah. I have to talk to the parents, I have to understand them, because, at the end of the day, like, with the parents, they raised them,
right.
And for me, with what I do, of course, too, is I need to get to a point for true development. I got to know them the way you know them. You know what I'm saying? Because, of course, the skill work, we can do the skill work, but if I don't know temperament, if I don't know what buttons to push to challenge them,
right.
You know what I'm saying, then there's only a certain level that we can really get to. So, parents, got to talk to the parents, have to.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing I was going to say, too, is the behavior of parents, AU parents, has an impact on their kids in the sense that, we all want them to succeed and get to play in college. And I think one of those, my understanding of how it works is if your kid is coachable, like if the perception of a coach when they come to watch one of our games from a college is, wow, that kid, he may not be the best player, but he takes direction really well. If you're a parent that undercuts the coach or is yelling during games, there's a good chance that might translate into your kid having inflated views of themselves and where they are, and then that's going to show, and they're going to gripe, they're going to have facial expression, all that stuff.
Yeah, body language, all of it. It's very everything you're saying is completely accurate. It's funny because you're describing what 80-90% of the college coaches say to me. You know what I mean? Like all the time, like. Is he coachable? What are his grades like? What's his body language like? That's before they even talk about, like, what can he do on the court? You know what I mean? Because they already assume, like, well, if he's on your team, he must not suck. Like, what are the other intangibles about this kid? Because I'm going to be around him for the next 4 years potentially. Like, I don't want an asshole.
No.
So, and your son doesn't fit that at all.
No, he's a lot of things. He's not an asshole.
No, he's a very, very lovable kid. Let's see. So, me and you, we've had a lot of good conversations. I view you like family more than anything. Like, and so, I wanted you to talk a little bit about just that kind of deal. Like, I intentionally make my AAU teams feel like a family.
Yeah.
Even so, kind of a dysfunctional family at times, but still, like,
that's real life, though.
Yeah, exactly.
It is.
Because we have a lot of different personalities in terms of the adults on this team.
Yeah, we do.
But I just was curious from your perspective, because, you know, I do it by design.
Right.
But I'm not actually in it all the time. You know what I mean? So I just wonder how you felt about all that, or, you know,
No, I mean,
that
that's
perspective.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite parts of the team, of the whole experience, is getting to know, you know, new parents and new players, and I think we do a pretty good job as a team of bringing. I am your team admin.
That
too.
is true. He is right there. Yeah,
well.
I'm sorry. He does handle all my team admin stuff.
Yeah, that's another AAU tip too. Don't give your team admin for your AAU team crap either, because it's like
you're right.
Yeah, but no, it's a neat experience to like see players come on the team, and they're, you know, we have a couple of new players this season, that
like Elijah and his family. I really like them too.
Carly and Chris are great, and it's just watching them kind of get to use. And some are quiet, some are more extroverts, you know, but over time they develop the bonds, and I think you do a good job. And I think part of it, again, goes to the way in which everybody's going to get some playing time. So it cuts down on some of the resentment I think you can see on some AAU teams, where if you have 3 or 4 players that never see the court, and the parents sitting over there weekend after weekend just watching their kid sit on a bench across from them,
it gets demoralizing, right?
Yeah.
And I just, you know, that is a purposeful tactic to me, because I want every kid to get a chance, you know? That's just really what it comes down to me. I've been that kid that wasn't given a chance, and it really reflects, just for me personally, it really reflects on that senior year I had at Oakland Tech. Even though my team was one of the top in the nation, I had a varsity coach who told me openly, I don't like you, and I will do everything I can to not put you in if I can do it.
Right.
But I was luckily good enough at points where he had to put me in. But, you know, to watch me and some of the guys sit on the bench, and in my opinion, wrongfully so, I said, I will never be that type of coach. I just can't. I can't watch a kid just sit there. Of course, I have to use my judgment at times, but, you know, I want the last guy on the bench to feel as he's just as important as my star player. You know, that's important to me. Some coaches, it's just all about the winning. You know, it's all about the trophies and the medals, and hey, more power to you if that's who you are. But it's just never been a deal for me. Winning will happen.
Right.
I just feel if you stay with the course, winning's going to happen. You know, if it doesn't happen, then you have to reassess you as a coach and see, like, what am I doing wrong? Because I feel if you're doing the right path, of course you need some certain level of talent. There's no doubt about that. You need a certain level of talent. But if you have it and you really cultivate it, because, again, look at our path. We started as DC level.
Yeah, we did.
And then we evolved into this. Wow. Well, you've seen it. You did my highlights. You've seen the team.
Yes, I have.
So it's like, I tell you, Mark, if you saw this team 2-3 years ago, it wasn't that. It definitely wasn't that.
Wow.
No, it was,
It's crazy.
Yeah. You think
hey, but that's why you the GOAT.
Oh,
that's why you the GOAT. That's why you the GOAT.
I just think I threw up in my mouth.
We got a different perspective here.
Yeah, exactly. He's one of my biggest critics.
That's why he's
one
on
of
the
my
show.
best friends. Exactly.
No. Well, the other thing we haven't touched on too is you have colorful language, and I think sometimes parents struggle with that a little bit, and still struggle with that. I think to some degree. That's never been an issue for me, because it's just what it is. But the thing I think that's great is if people don't take the time to listen to you. Yes, you yell at them, you get on them, but it's never denigrate. It's never saying you are, awful. You are bad. You're a horrible person.
Right.
You just messed up. You screwed up. You did
and I try to tell them how to fix it.
Yeah, and then you'll pull them out, and they'll know it. Like, they know it the minute they do. Like, I'll see Eli out of position. I'm like, oh crap, here it comes. But then he'll be right back in like 3 minutes later.
Yeah, because I want them to learn, assess, and get the hell out there and get it right. Like, that's all. That's all it is for me. And sometimes what I even tell parents, like, sometimes I'll pull your kid out just to give them direction, or sometimes I'll pull your kid out because I just want to tell them you're doing a great job, and say, hey, you're doing a great job. Go ahead and get back out there. Like, there's so many dynamics when it comes to coaching and training and stuff, and so many different conversations. And Mark, I'm sure you've had a million different conversations, you know what I mean, with your players. It's that's why I really try to tell parents, you only see at the game, you only see, it's somewhat different for AAU parents, but for sure school parents, you only see about 10 to 15% of the relationship I have with these kids. That's all you see is like 10 to 15%. If you just go to the games, you don't go to practices, you don't go to training sessions, whatever. That's the only part of the relationship you see. So if you see me light a kid up, curse him out a little bit, then some people from the outside are like, oh my God, like he's terrible. He's hurting his feelings. But it's like, no, if you look at that kid, he just dropped 27 points. Like he's coaching him. Like he's just trying to teach him. Hey, I would say, obviously you see more of that window, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I just remember Eli's first practice with you. I felt like I had to put him in like counseling.
Really?
His first practice, kid you not, Mark, his first practice.
It's not a rare thing either.
Really?
Yeah.
So what's up? Like story time.
It's a rite of passage to make it through his initial practice.
So this is my philosophy. I ain't gonna lie, and this is kind of. I probably shouldn't be saying this.
Let's go. About that life. Let's go.
Okay, so my first practice, if a kid comes to my practice the first time, I intentionally go at that fucking kid. That. I mean, I go at him hard.
It's like a prison yard.
I'm not going to lie. I pick on that. Yeah, I mean, and I don't nitpick. It's like I do drills that I know they're going to fuck up on. I know they're going to fuck it up. And so right when they do, I'm like on them. Like, and I did it to his son. Like, and I mean, I think I lit him up like at least 4 or 5 times in that practice, and I hadn't even met like Jalen. I just like, hey, I'm Chris, and and now I'm about to curse the damn son out for an hour and a half, and I do that for damn near every kid on my team because I gotta know, can you take it? That's just the reality of it, because we've been in so many hostile territories. I mean, you go to Soldier Town in Oakland. That gym is so small and compact. And let's just be real, it's in Oakland. You gonna hear some shit. You know what I mean? And I'm bringing a multiracial, United Nations team. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but largely from suburban.
Exactly. So it's like, I need to know, can you take this? Because if you think I'm bad, you really have no clue. And so. Eli comes to practice. I lit him up for like 4 or 5 different drills and things, and I mean, I could tell I was really getting under his skin, and he started crying. He broke down. Not in practice. I want to say it was like a little after, right?
Let's not get that on the podcast.
No, it's not in.
My son cried.
I'm correcting it. No, Eli definitely doesn't cry, and it's funny because I still laugh at what you said when you guys talked in the car.
I'm like, he's like just breaking down, just like, Dad, and I'm like, so do you know I want to play for this guy? No, I want to play for him. I'm like, okay, is this the beginning of an abusive relationship? It's like, so no, but the longer we watched, my wife and I, and but we're also both strong believers that. We my wife didn't grow up with a lot. I did. I grew up upper middle class, but our kids don't struggle a lot out here. We live a good life. We make a decent income, and so he doesn't get as much. So both of us were like, yes, you need to be pushed, you need to be challenged.
Yeah, well,
it's all good.
Love that.
Well, the last thing I was going to ask you is just with COVID and all the different states shutting down, and just the whole background and everything, and just kind of, obviously we're doing courtside weekend after weekend after weekend, but we still have been seeing some really good teams and some good competition. From going from the shutdown as a parent with your kids in the house day in, day out, to now having basketball back, even though it's not a big amount, like we're not traveling like we used to or going to the Bay, but at least you can have
wearing masks.
Right, wearing masks everywhere and stuff. But I mean, do you think it's helped overall, and it's just
definitely. I mean, I can't imagine him just kind of being in. I mean, and he was starting to do some training on his own, and we created like a little gym in the garage to try to get him to work out, but it wasn't the same. Right. So to actually get in and started training right before we started getting into the tournaments, and then playing some basketball. And I know it's challenging out there because I know some parts of the country that stuff's not going on. but the case counts here are pretty small in Placer. But no, it's huge. It's been great.
Good. I'm glad.
So my positive thoughts to Elijah. I know he's dealing with a lot.
Yeah.
Because the pressure to have the tournaments, and then you've got, it's one of the few games in town. So we're, like you said, with the quality of the teams we're seeing. I remember those hardwood tournaments where we'd get teams that wait, are they really in 5th grade or 6th grade? They look like they're 2.
Yeah, exactly.
So
but no, it's been
nice.
fierce.
Yeah,
no,
it's been good.
So let's switch gears. Let's talk about the NBA. This is going to be we got playoff games going on today or right now.
Yep.
Right now.
Finished one just finished.
Okay, yeah. So
Lakers and Houston are coming up, I think, or are they?
They're playing right now.
5:30.
Okay, and then obviously I want to get into the more, political stuff. I want to cut through that real quick because it just needs to be addressed. It's just so much crap going on. The postponing. That's why I call it instead of the boycott, but the postponing with the Jacob Blake shooting and just obviously people having enough. What are our thoughts on that? Good thing, bad thing? I mean, to me, overall, a good thing, but
I think it was great, and I don't call it a postpone. I call it a boycott because the NBA is not postponing it if the players don't raise the issue.
Right. Yeah.
If Milwaukee doesn't start it and the other teams don't join in, they're just going to keep on playing. I mean, the Black Lives Matter on the court, all that stuff. None of that stuff's going to happen if the players don't make a point of making it happen. So, and I'll give credit to the NBA coaches too. As professional sports leagues go. For the most, not all of them, but whether it's Steve Kerr or some of the Popovich, very vocal about their support of that kind of stuff too. So
very
it's
forward thinking. And that's quite honestly, we need white allies. I mean, that's just you know what I mean.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Shut up, Jeff. but we need.
I teach Black history, Chris. I'm the definition of a white ally.
That is true. I love your T-shirt, by the way. So
should we tell the story? Did I tell you the story? So I'm wearing this that the people can't see if they're just listening to it. It's a T-shirt that has names of famous Black history figures on it: Harriet Tubman and Frederick Douglass. And my wife and I were walking in a park in Rockland, and this older white woman walked by and said, "Are those your kids' names?"
Oh my God!
And I looked at her like,
"No, I did not know."
I looked at her like I thought she was kidding, and she was not kidding.
Wow.
She was dead serious.
Wow!
And we've got some. Don't get me wrong. We've got some woke white people on our team.
We do
in Rockland. So I'm not trying to denigrate every white person in Rockland. But if it was going to happen somewhere,
it might happen there.
It was going to happen here.
That's pretty fucking funny.
It is. And my wife didn't even catch it. I had to tell her she wanted to go back.
Right.
I know Crystal. I know she would.
Did you just move on from that conversation, or did you get into teacher mode real quick? Or?
I turned back and I said, no, they're famous historical figures. I wanted that dumbass on the end of it. She was an older. I didn't want her to die. Anyway, but to get back to what we were talking about with the NBA and everything that's been going on, I think we've seen good things come out of it. One of the things is a lot of the arenas are going to be voting.
Yeah, voting booths,
which is huge.
Yeah.
It's especially this year with COVID, and I think people are going to be afraid to vote in some areas just because they're worried about getting the virus if they can't mail in ballot. So that's good.
No, I think that's doing really good. So let's talk about Giannis.
Man,
they won today, right?
A lot of pressure on him.
But he didn't play.
Yeah.
He played, I think, a half and then got injured.
Yeah.
And then, so obviously he might, well, I shouldn't say might. I think he's leaving. But where do y'all think he should go?
Boston.
Wow. Boston.
I would get there before March.
Me personally, like I said, who knows? We'll see what happens. But I believe in the situation that he is in right now, so let me ask you guys this first. Do you guys feel that they should name the MVP before the finals or before the playoffs or during the playoffs? So let's say what if they got swept today and he gets MVP? Do you feel, in your opinions, do you guys feel that that's okay? He gets back to back, or does that kind of put a little question mark? Because they just got swept. They were supposed to come out and play the Lakers in the finals.
Well, man, that's the MVP award has always been kind of something I struggle with, and the only reason I mean is because we're talking about the most valuable player,
Right.
If we went based off of pure analytics and just was like, well, who's the best player that year for the period, it would skew some of the numbers. You know what I mean? Some guys wouldn't be MVP candidates straight up. Typically, the history of the MVP, and people can look this up if they think I'm down it, it's usually one of the top 2 teams in the NBA. They usually have the top 2 records. But it's usually the only time where that algorithm, if you want to call it that, was broken was Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, triple-double.
Because he was the triple-double machine. So he literally had to break the system in order for him to get the MVP award. The MVP usually goes to the top 2 teams, either side. And so that's why I kind of struggle, because if we're talking about value, the most valuable player, there's times where LeBron didn't get it, where I thought he deserved it. Do you know what I mean? But because they, their references, he didn't have the numbers per se, like a James Harden or Kevin Durant or Russell Westbrook, that he can't be in that race. Well, then what's the value then? You know what I mean? Like the value of the team. Like, okay, Devin Booker for the Suns couldn't we say he's the most valuable player for that team? But of course, the Suns don't have a winning record. So, I kind of would like them to give the award maybe after playoffs, or maybe even in the finals. Like you're the finals MVP and the NBA MVP. You know what I mean? Because your team doesn't win a championship without you. You know what I mean? But
I've noticed it's been a regular season. And remember, even when James Harden won it. Yeah. And the way it's always been looking is what he's doing during the regular season. You know what I'm saying? And then, of course, when he gets to the playoffs, he's either out of the first or second round.
But that's my issue with the regular season now, with this load management stuff and teams sitting out and, padding stats, because it was very obvious Westbrook was out there padding his rebound stat. I mean, it's it's hard to, with analytics, the analytics has definitely evolved and changed the game in a positive direction. I have no problem with analytics. I'm a true believer that it plays a huge factor.
For sure.
But because basketball players are aware of analytics, they adjust their game for it.
That's
you know
true.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I think I agree. It'd be nice just to collapse the season MVP and the playoff MVP together and just
just say you're the best player that got your team a championship.
Yeah,
there you go.
Exactly.
End the story.
But basketball's not baseball's got the same problem.
Yeah.
Like the Cy Young Award is top pitcher. You could be Kershaw, and Dodgers fans are going to hate me. He tends to implode.
Right.
So,
and I think that makes a factor. So the other thing I want to talk about was the Steve Nash hire. Steve Nash, because there was a little, at least from Stephen A. Smith's perspective, there was some controversy there.
Race.
He called it white privilege, or this is a definition of white privilege. Me personally, I just think that it's who you know.
Yeah.
And Kevin Durant and Steve Nash are pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, when he was with the Warriors, they worked out together. There's literally a bunch of photos of them together. He was sitting the bench during the games, mentoring him. Yeah. If I'm Steve Nash, I'm pulling that card. Hey, KD, I want to come coach your team. Sure. I don't really think it was and again, Ty Lue, right? He applied for the job.
With Mark Jackson.
Mark Jackson applied for the
Billups.
job. And Sam Cassell.
Yep.
So it's like, I don't think those guys are undeserving.
Yeah.
But basketball, like a lot of sports and just things in general, is who you know.
Well, and I think both can be true, right? It can be true that Steve Nash could be a really great coach, and yes, KD likes him, and so that makes sense, and so not necessarily questioning that. But it can also be true that the underrepresentation of African Americans in coaching, and even more importantly, upper management in the NBA.
Absolutely.
Although the NBA is better than the NFL and these other sports as well. Is also an important issue that needs to be looked at. So, I mean, Stephen A. Smith sometimes rubs me the wrong way, but I think it's
a factor, and it could be. It could be, because we don't know.
I think, too, just because of what's going on right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That definitely has to, I guess you have to talk about it. But, I mean, like I said, Tyronn Lue, Mark Jackson, you know what I'm saying? Like, those really... Sam Cassell, who's been an assistant for years,
forever,
who've been paying their dues, where, okay, yes, Steve Nash is a back-to-back Hall of Famer, you know what I'm saying, great point guard, maybe he could teach some things to Kyrie, was in the lab with KD, with the Warriors. I feel like maybe also, too, is like, you know, copycat league. They want to copy the Golden State Warriors. Steve Kerr had no coaching experience. You know, get a guy who's just a player coach who you know players can relate to, take away the race thing, you know what I'm saying? And then of course, you know, it's Steve Nash, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you can look at it that way, but then like I said, you look back at guys who've been paying their dues who are African American, and it's like, well, why can't that happen quick? You know what I'm saying?
Luke Walton on the King. I mean,
that
definitely.
I actually have more problems with that hire than
I totally agree with you on that one.
He got fired by the Lakers, and boom, he got a job.
That's definitely that I would circle that more than anything else. Well, then I wanted to talk about some you know, just some of the more tragic stuff going on. We haven't recorded in a few weeks, so you know, just wanted to, well, really send a shout out and some prayers for Jacob Blake. And, you know, obviously for those who are listening or watching on YouTube, I'm sure we also, or enough people have heard about, you know, the unfortunate attempted murder on this man's life, you know, shoot him in the back 7 times. Now he's paralyzed. So, you know, and someone who's understands what it's like to not be able to walk or run or anything again, because when I ruptured my Achilles, I mean, it's it changes your life. It does. And you know, prayers up to you, man. Hope you can keep pushing and you know, make some positive moves for you. Also, Chadwick Boseman, right? You know, he's
Go.
And well, Mark, you said you saw they used to hoop and stuff.
High school. He played ball in high school.
So
he's I mean, of course, watching Black Panther, like he's an athlete.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
That, you know,
for sure.
Did his own stunts, but definitely had an athletic background.
And
well,
so,
and that, I mean, when he played Jackie Robinson in 42.
that was great.
And we took
James
our son.
Brown, too.
We took our son to see that, and he was young at that point, and it made such an imprint on him.
Nice.
Like, our dog is named Jackie after him.
Oh, really?
He's like, Dad, I got to name the dog Jack.
Oh,
like,
that's
right.
nice. That's really
all
cool.
Right. Well, I only call him Jack because people think it's a girl. No, we're naming Jack. Okay, all right.
That's really cool.
So,
I
it
like
is.
That. I like that.
Yeah, he was way too young. Way too young.
And, you know, and the fact that he could do all this while he was
he didn't
fighting
4
cancer.
years.
I mean,
4 years he was going through treatment for.
Well, and I know you personally know, you know, that battle because his wife had had cancer and stuff. So you know,
she's been through it twice.
Yeah. So I know you can,
healthy now. So
yes. Thank you.
And she's a nurse too, so she sees all of it.
Love you, Crystal. I know you might hear it and see this, so appreciate you. But no, and just wanted to touch base on that, and you know, Chadwick Boseman. I'm sure you and your family here, you know, you've been hearing from a lot of people, and just want you to hear from my small corner too that, you know, for the Boseman family out there, our hearts go with you, man. And you know, if you're well, I shouldn't say if, I know he's in heaven, and hopefully he's you know, doing his thing and living his best life with God right now.
Real life superhero.
Exactly.
Real life superhero.
So Mark, I wanted to talk about your trip. Talk about Scotland Yard. So you could fill me in a little bit on that.
Yeah, so I mean, you guys all remember, you know, MJ was our first athlete when he was on our show, and you know, I had a chance to go with his family to send him off at, you know, Scotland Prep, you know, top 5 program in the nation. 2 years of just grinding, you know, guiding, studying, you know, to where he, you know, coming from a small town like Vacaville, to be in the position where he is now. It just, that trip, besides sending him off with the family and getting to, I won't lie, it kind of brought me back to my days when, you know, when I went to Iowa, you know, and going to a school where it was in the middle of nowhere, and, you know, in the dorms and getting ready to meet all these people, where he's in a situation that's more upgraded, you know, and of course, like going through my experience, getting to see this again after how many years, you know, knowing what to do and what not to do.
Right.
He's in a great situation, but at the same time, I just got to really, it opened up my eyes to see besides all the stuff that I do when it comes to the skill training of, it really is about who you know, the network, you know what I'm saying? So getting to see, one of my college teammates, one of my really good friends, he's the lead assistant coach there. So I was basically just shadowing him, those 4 days, getting to go to meetings, the head coach there, Chris Chaney, legendary coach. A lot of people who don't know about the basketball community. He's the pioneer who started the whole prep school thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was going to ask, where did that start?
Yeah. Started with him, 800 plus wins, the most wins at his age for any type of level. You know what I'm saying? Wow. NBA guys, D1 guys. He knows Coach Cal, Coach K. So it's crazy. I was in there with him, sleeping on the couch. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You're with basketball mind.
Yeah, and seeing how things work there, and it gave me more motivation coming back home with the kids that I help in my little area, knowing that if MJ does what he's supposed to do, you know what I'm saying, which I know and I'm very confident he will, because just from what I'm seeing is they were a top 5 program last year, and it's looking like with the recruiting class that they have like the number 7 ranked kid, Brandon Hatley, who plays for B. Mays Elite, one of the top AAU teams in the nation. Wow. Bobby Mays, who used to play for the Tennessee Volunteers, used to play for Chris Chaney. So here's the network, you know what I'm saying? Right. To where, it's
the pipeline right there.
Yeah. So, a handful of ranked kids are going there, and they like to get surround them with diamonds in the roughs. Guys like MJ, no rank, no stars, no nothing. When they get there, everybody's equal. Nice. It don't matter. It don't matter if you're 5-star, 4-star, if you're not ranked, if you're coming from a small town. It's basically basketball boot camp, Wow. And then it also showed me, and it also showed me, like I said, why it's important for you to have your grades and do what you're supposed to do in high school. Because once you get to prep school, if you do the prep year, right? And this is what I learned. It doesn't really matter if you're going to class there. Of course, you're going to class there. They need to show that. I mean, of course, there's online. But that year doesn't affect your time clock, right? Okay. If you're a post grad.
Yeah.
So basically, they're still looking at what you did in high school.
Right.
So your focus there is strictly basketball.
Right.
They have you on a schedule, weights, practice, skill work, film, this and that. So getting to see that and knowing that, with MJ, we've been working. Basically, we've been doing this for the last 2 years, so he's fully prepared. Nice. But my thing is more of, being with my friend and seeing how he operated. He had numbers of big time coaches like that, and I'm just like, wow, okay, you know what I'm saying? So you just could make a call, bro. Check this out, So he dials a coach, a big time coach, and I get to see just how everything worked. And there's so many talented kids in the world. Not all of them are gonna make it, and necessarily, yes, you could, and that's what I'm learning too, is you can put in so much work
and
still not be at maybe what where you're projected to be, just because you're not surrounded by the right people. Your parents don't know anything. They don't understand the process, even though they may think they know it, right? And at the same time, it's like, yes, the work, the training, you're supposed to do that. If you're really trying to be good, you're supposed to do that, and even more. So by the time you get to that type of level, everybody's that good. It's basically now, it's like I said, when I went there, it was like, it's basically like a buffet for coaches to go to a school, right? Because nobody's really going to go to from what I've seen, nobody's going to go to a public high school in Vacaville to go recruit.
No.
They're going to go to Scotland Prep because they got, what you got? You got the number 7 ranked kid. He's getting offers from Louisville. Right. So now all these coaches are going to go see that kid. But who's that kid? Who's that kid right there? You know what I'm saying? He actually looked better than the kid that I want. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of opened up my eyes where I'm like, okay, talking to some of my guys that I train with, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, hey, this is the blueprint. I can make a call now, right? But are you worthy? Are you going to put in the work? You know what I'm saying? Are you willing to put in the extra work to get to a level like this? Because from what I saw, is like, once you get to that level, there's no, of course, for me, because I work with younger kids or whatever, I can be patient. I can, talk to them more to try to, know, okay, well, we got 1 or 2 more years to get you there. If you ain't ready,
they're out of here.
You done. Because, okay, we got another kid who's a 4-star anyways. Yeah. We got another kid who's a 5-star. Yeah. So like I said, it opened up my eyes to what a lot of kids need to understand, that not everybody's going to make it. But if you believe that you're good enough to make it, then you just have to keep working. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, it was a great trip, you know, being out there in Pennsylvania, and also noticing when I was out there, when I left the campus, right? Of course, now we're going to go to political stuff.
Right.
There was a lot of Trump supporters out there. I told MJ, do not leave your dorm room. Yeah. Do not leave campus.
Right.
Because it was a whole different world out there, bro. Yeah, I'm thinking like, damn, they got a top 5 program. There's a lot of African-American kids who are really talented on this campus. But once you leave out of there, I was like, damn. It's
like going back in time.
Yeah. So that was kind of interesting just seeing how that worked. But yeah, I'm really excited for the future and what's going to happen. So. Yeah.
Right, well, good. Well, that's a lot of good information for these people to know.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about courtside and some of the you know, stuff this past weekend I've been observing and seeing, and we'll get a couple more details and, you know, keep getting through. But the first thing is there's kids are playing for like 7 different teams in a weekend. It is bad, bro.
I seen some highlights from Simply where they would highlight a kid. Yeah. And they would have him on the same highlight, but he wore another jersey.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, what the hell?
I'm telling you, bro, like these kids, I don't even think they practice. I don't think, and I don't know, man. I'm very disappointed in the coaching community that's allowing this to happen, because that really falls on us. Yeah. And if coaches are just cool with letting these kids do that, you know, I'm cool with kids playing on 2 teams. Like I said, my limit's 2 teams. That's all you need, 2 teams. When when one team isn't playing, the other one can be playing. You know what I mean? Yeah. But when you got kids playing for literally in this showcase, I've seen kids play for like 5 or 6 teams at a time.
Damn.
Yeah. What are they learning? They're not. It's just pick up with medals at the end.
Well, and then what do you, as a parent of a kid who'd probably be one of the kids on the team, where this guy just shows up and is like, oh wow, this guy's amazing, but now what? You know, I think it can really do some damage to the
for sure
to the team, you know, team sensibility, and
especially if a kid on the team is like been there, grinding and practicing every day, showing up, and then boom, just some kid now he's getting all the touches.
Minutes are gone. All your minutes are gone. All the, you know, and then it's been, you know, I've had my own conversations with Elijah Wan. You know, Hardwood plans on opening back up the 18th of this month. Yeah, the 18th. So, you know, their competitors are going to open it back up. And this is the reality of Hardwood and courtside. I'm just going to, you know, keep it a buck. Let's just call it what it is.
Put the dirty laundry out there.
Of course, because why not, right? And if Jacob, you hear this, if you happen to hear this, which at courtside, this ain't no knock. Yeah, it's not. It's no knock on you guys. It's not a knock on you and as an individual. And Steve at Harvard, if you hear this, we've already had these conversations, so don't act like I'm saying it's nothing brand new. But you know, courtside is looked at more as the hood basketball tournament, the less professional basketball tournament, not as bad as DeMario.
At least their air conditioning works.
Yes, that is true. Hardwood needs to fix their damn AC. But and then Hardwood's looked at more as like the suburbia basketball tournament. You know, less fights, less tomfoolery. Right? That's the word I'm going to use.
Did you just use the word?
Yeah, tomfoolery. Let's call that. So, and I know Elijah Wan really actually does want his structure to be more organized and stuff. So, you know, my encouragement to the coaches and parents that do listen to this or do watch this, you know, if we all individually try to do better at these tournaments, and that means, yes, be passionate about the games. Yes, want your kid to succeed. Yes, want growth. But this whole poke your chest out and wanting to fight somebody thing, you know, threatening to grab your gun from the parking lot, like that shit happens at courtside. Yeah. I mean, you hear these stories at courtside even prior to the lockdown, and I'm like, you don't want that reputation, especially where we're at. That's just the reality of it. The county sheriff's office is right around the corner. Like the jail is right down the street. And last thing I want is to see a couple of brothers get locked up over a youth basketball game. Yeah. Like that's just. I mean, I had a coach this past weekend talking about he was going to beat my ass because we were beating his team by 30 or 40. It was that first team we played.
Oh yeah.
Where the coach like was flipping out.
He was losing it.
And he said it and walked away. I didn't respond. I'm just like, whatever, man. Like, but I'm thinking about it in my head. I'm like, does this guy really see? Like, this is what it's come down to. You want to fight me because the kids are playing good basketball?
Yeah.
Like, so. I don't know. I'm all for what Courtside's doing. I'm all for what Olajuwon's doing. The overall message I'm trying to get out is parents, players, coaches, let's try to collectively do better, because I don't want to see Courtside be labeled as, oh, that's the hood tournaments. Yeah. That's the ghetto tournaments. That's that's where the unwanteds go. Like, I don't want to hear that. It's all just basketball players, But to be fair, what I got to give credit to Hardwood, they just have zero tolerance. Like, if you cross that line, they ban you.
Damn.
They don't care. They have, they get so many teams. They have to give teams to other places.
Wow.
So, and when they open back up,
yeah.
Oh, man, there's going to be
be really busy.
Yeah, so they're like, oh, you cheated and had a, 17-year-old on your 8th grade team? You're banned.
Wow.
Oh, you want to threaten one of the referees? You're banned. Oh, you want to get into a fight with another parent in the crowd? Both teams are banned. Like, and they don't care.
Yeah.
They just, Steve's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
They'd be like, well, we'll never come back. I know, because I banned you. It's like, I don't care. Because guess what? I got 700 other teams that want your spot.
Yeah.
So I'm
kind of like that.
Yeah, I've been trying to encourage Olajuwon to actually do that. So
do you notice that's a bigger problem as you're getting into the high school years, like, or do you see it across the board as equally challenging?
Nowadays, I'm seeing it all across the board. I want to say, because in high school, because most of the kids by that time, the bodies are starting to regulate out. You know what I mean? Kids are like, of course, a 17-year-old is still different than a 15-year-old,
right?
But it's not as drastically different as a 14-year-old is to a 10-year-old. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like you look at our boys, right? Yeah. I mean, Trevor and Cab are 6'6", you know what I mean? And they're 15. About to be 16. I think Cab's actually younger than everybody.
I think he is,
and he's 6'6". There are seniors that are, 5'9". I mean, you know what I'm saying? But so, that's where the skill and the craftiness, the abilities differ. So I really just think for the younger side, it's more visually prevalent. Like, you can drastically see the difference when this random, 6'2", 5th grader walks onto the court. Then, okay, you might have a 6'8" junior or 6'8". He's playing 15U, but he's 17.
Right.
Well, it's like, hey, do your thing, because I got a 6'6" freshman that is not scared of your ass, like, and let's see what happens. You know what I mean? Like, you can match up and say, screw it, we'll go at you. You beat us,
right?
Right. A good example I can have of that is, remember when I put the boys in 8th grade, when I put them in that 17U bracket at Hardwood that one time, in 8th grade, I put Matt and them in a 17U bracket, and we won one game. We won 1 and 2. Okay. As 8th graders, I said, because we were just killing. We were killing that year, and I just was like,
well, we were playing that ghetto basketball. Remember the Idaho Rebels?
The Idaho, this team from Idaho called my team ghetto.
You're Rockland suburban ghetto basketball.
We're from Rockland. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? I was like, I'm from Oakland. Maybe you call me that, but I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
These kids have never seen a ghetto in their life.
I remember the first times I was taking them to Soldier Town, and took them to my house and shit. I mean, they were like, holy shit. I was
like, one of the parents didn't even want to, like, pull up outside the
house.
Wow. That person will remain nameless.
Wow. I was like, and then we did it so much, they're used to it now. They were like, oh, we're going to Soldier Town again, whatever. like they like, whatever, I don't give a shit. Like I said, but that's the growth, right? That's the growth. Because I'm like, I said, fellas, if you want to be elite, you got to find elite.
Well, that's one thing we haven't really talked about is that the AAU, especially in areas like ours, one of the other pluses is, like, these kids get exposed to a level of diversity they're not getting like if Eli goes to just the schools he's going to, the only diversity he sees is within his own house. I mean, it's really, I mean, and love parents out there that he's been friends with at his schools, but it's like he came to AAU, and you look at our team, it's like that old Benetton commercial, like it's just like it's the racial ethnic rainbow.
It really is.
it's really cool for that too. So
yeah. And again, trust the process.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Well, speaking of that, I want to circle back on that one since I mentioned that. The process for the Sixers didn't work. Just want to throw that out there.
No. Coach got fired.
Yeah. The process didn't work there. So good luck, Philly. Y'all figure that out.
Right.
Funny events, which I found was pretty funny, and just talking and sharing with y'all. So my 12U team played this morning at 8:30, and we played against a 7th and 8th grade team.
Oh.
My 6th grade team.
Wow.
And that wasn't on purpose. This
Really?
8th grade team played in a 6th grade bracket.
Wow.
And the reason I know they were 8th grade is because one of the players used to play for me. His name's Nehemiah. I was like, Nehemiah, what you doing out here warming up? He's like, I'm about to play, coach. I said, why are you playing my 6th graders? You're in the 8th grade. And he's like, I don't know. and so the coach got mad at me because I was laughing about it.
Really?
He actually got mad at me and was like, what's so funny? I said, well, it's funny that you have an 8th grade team, 7th and 8th graders playing against 6th graders. And the deadline is September 1st. Yeah. So really they're 11 years old and just turned, they're going to turn 12. You know what I'm saying?
So is that the coach's decision to put as a coach?
Yeah, so the way it works, like when you enter a tournament or whatever, let's say courtside, grassroots, whatever, you select the age, right? So you go online, you say, okay, like with these guys, because they're now officially 16U. They were freshmen, which is 15U. Now, after September 1st, they're officially considered 16U, which is basically sophomores. You go online, you say, okay, I want to be 16U, and then you pick the division. Division 1, Division 2, Division 3. Typically, your most elite teams are going to go Division 1. Your mid teams, Division 2, Division, and so on and so forth. So you pick your 3 divisions. Sometimes they go lower than that, but you pick your 3 divisions or colors, because sometimes they go gold, silver, bronze, plastic. I don't fucking know, whatever. Like they go, you pick your team, and then you go. Okay. So that means this guy had to purposely go online, pick 12U,
try to get a W.
Division 1.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
With a bunch of 13 and 14-year-olds. And that's where I say you can clearly see the difference between an 11-year-old and a 4-year-old. And the cool part is my team was winning most of the game, but we still ended up losing by 10 or 12.
Well, they still have to work for that.
You should have just given my address. I would have given him medals for his whole.
He's
got like 1,000 of them.
Exactly. Like if you just wanted the medal,
it's silly.
And it is what it is, man. I just was like, and the coach was getting mad because I was laughing. I'm like, yeah, because it's funny. Like it's funny the desperation that I see these coaches have, and to get this wins or this success. Like if wins are the only way you measure your team's success, then you've kind of missed it. You've missed the boat.
And what are you teaching your kid? Like, if your goal is to prepare them to play at a higher level, you're not. You're playing lower level talent. They're going to get smacked when they start playing.
Like, what did that do for you? So coaches are definitely cheating all over courtside. They're not. They haven't been moving their teams up due to September. Like Elijah Wan asked. But let's just be real. The coaches lie. You know what I mean? They'll say, we're 13U, and he don't know unless you've played there already until they come to the game, and then you see kids with beards and things like. My 7th grade played a team. Was it last weekend? Yeah, that played them 8th grade because they're 8th grade now. Yeah. That 2 of the kids on the opposing team had like full on beards. Like full on beards. Damn. And the coach, like Elijah Wan questioning, he was like, are these 2 kids? And the coach got hella loud and said, just so you all know, he's in 7th grade. It was weird because he said the stupidest shit. He said he's 13. He becomes a freshman next year. Or he's a freshman this year. That's what he said. He said he's 13, but he's a freshman this year.
Wow.
Okay. I said, so either he's a genius and skipped 2 grades, or you just messed up and told on yourself. Right. And the cool part is we still won.
Damn.
We still won.
Made them look foolish.
Man, it was the team you recorded that time at Hardwood, my 7th.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, that elite team. Yeah, with Muhammad in there.
That's Chris's favorite team.
Oh, shut up. That is not. Yeah. He swears up and down. I always give him the back end.
On my team.
Hey, I be hearing the players say that too.
Yeah, we give you crap all the time.
They give me so much
the golden
shit.
children.
They are not.
Our team is the Rodney Dangerfield of the Chris Collins.
I could have swore y'all team has been on a lot of my highlights as of late, especially the Simply Basketball highlights, a lot more than any other team.
That's because we're kicking ass.
So it had nothing to do with me trying to help that out.
All right.
A little bit.
Okay.
I'll take a little credit.
A little bit.
The only other thing, and I just wanted to add, we're heading towards our closing time, but no, I wanted to give a shout out to Coach Robinson. He's back in YBA, right? You know, we have a lot of history with that team. That's been like our rival / mirror /
Eli plays for him too.
Yeah, he did. He did play for him. That is true. Yeah, he's going to play for Robinson. Yeah. No, but I definitely, I wanted to give a shout out to Coach Robinson. He's a great coach, great person, and he does. He loves his kids. That was the team you watched practice. That you were watching practice. There? Yeah. So
which one was him? Was he the one?
The big dark skinned brother.
Okay, okay.
That's Marcus Robinson. Really good dude. Really good coach at Oakmont. He's been in YBA for 6 years, 7 years, and he became the coach of Team Touch. He took his boys, became the coach of Team Touch. His team and my team have a very interesting history and rivalry. I don't have enough time to get into all of it, but the quick version is we're both in the same class, and his team was always kind of the superior team. And again, this is the long run. As my team kept progressing and getting better, we ended up 8th grade year being mirror images of each other. We were in this unique spot where we had 2 elite teams, and it was his team and my team. And now fast forward to freshman year, that's when he kind of took his ball and left and went to Team Touch. And then my boys kind of took over the overall mantle of the top freshman group. Yeah. We played them twice, beat them the first game by 1. The next time we beat them by like 20. Yeah. We decimated them. Wow. And you could see from him and the twins, that Tyree and Tyrese Rose and Derek and the guys who've been through that history, you could just see on their face the shock, this never happened, because before they used to kick our ass. I'm not gonna lie. 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade year, we were their
mental. It was like
we were their fucking punching bag. And then we finally in high school, not only just the first win, it was like, we're won by 1 point, and I can see they kind of was like, that's a fluke. Like, then the second time we play them,
20, huh?
So we at one point, I want to say we're up by like 25 points. And we just, you could see and then there was a lot of more dynamics with Robinson and that Team Touch team that's his business. I'm not going to get into it, but I told him, dude, just come on home, man. Just come on home, come back to YBA. We'll help build you a good team. And now you saw the team, one of your boys is on it, and it's a good-ass looking team. So now we're back in the same boat with 2 16U elite YBA teams that plan to go out there and whoop a lot of ass. So, Coach Robinson, I'm glad you're back, brother. Hold on, my fault, because I got to make sure I do this. Oh, what? Oh, you lucky. You lucky right now.
I didn't even mess with it, and it's not working. Karma's, what do they say? Karma's a bitch.
You are lucky it's not working right now.
What was you about to hit him with?
I was going to hit him with the splash. He hates my sound effects. You are lucky it's not working. Maybe.
Oh, darn, it's not working. I'm sorry, Chris. I'm really sorry for you.
I'm going to find the damn. There you go. One more for Coach Robinson. Jay doesn't like my sound effects, so screw him. So one more for him.
3 times.
I feel like I'm an episode of SpongeBob.
No, one thing I wanted to address, and talk about respectfully disrespectful, and I just got to get this one out, because a few people have texted me. I talked to you about it. I obviously talked to you about it, and I want to talk about the Hoyas thing, the Hoyas comment. If they're listening, which I hope they do. I know Durante listens. That's the assistant coach of the Hoyas, and he's my friend. And if Al listens, the head coach for the Hoyas, I want you to listen too. I'm not apologizing, nor do I retract my comment on what I said last episode. So let me make that clear. This isn't me trying to make sure you like me or feel better. But I do want to clarify that I respect the hell out of your team. And I think you have a phenomenal group that you've grown for a very long time because, again, that's another group that we played against for years. For years. Funny enough, I trained 2 of the players on this team. Jalen Hawkins and Durante Jr. I train your players. So his son was so good to me. I didn't know it was the head coach's son. I tried to recruit him. His name's Devin Lewis, goes to Intercom. I wanted to recruit. Devin's really good. I wanted to recruit him. Good. I reached out, and then he was like, "Oh, I can't. My dad's the coach." I was like, "Oh shit, I had no clue. I didn't know it was." Yeah. So I want to make that very clear to anybody listening, Al or Durante. I think you have an amazing group. I think you have amazing kids. I think you have amazing families. And we've had some epic, great battles, and I appreciate it because it's helped in the growth of my kids. When I was referring to that I saw you guys jumping for joy, I wasn't saying it in a way like to discredit what you guys had done. What I was saying was when I saw you guys get your medals, and let me make that very clear, it's when you got your medals, not right after the game. When you got your medals, you guys were happy, clapping and cheering, as you should, because you beat my 16U team, well, now 17U team, which most people look at like, damn, that team's, that's Anthony's team. They're like, man, that team's unbeatable. No, you beat them, and you beat them, rightfully so. Like, you had no fear, your team had no fear, then you kicked your ass, and you did a phenomenal job. I don't take anything away from that. Don't take what I'm saying as offensive, as you took it. It was just me having a little fun on my show, which I try to do. So if this message gets to you, I want you to know that I respect the hell out your team, and any day you want our teams to go at it and battle, I'm here, brother. And again, I open the invite. If you want to sit down on the show, you're more than welcome to, because I love hearing from other coaches. I want to hear from other programs. So,
yeah, I would love to. I mean, we've had a lot of good battles with that Sac Hoyas team with Devin and Jalen Hart. Jalen used to play for us for a while, and it'd be nice to see that matchup again.
Yeah, so that's all. I just had to get that out there because it was on, they was on their Instagram and people messaged me.
Wait, you pissed somebody off on social media?
Yeah, I guess.
Shocking.
Right. I guess, hey, listen, somebody's got to be the bad guy. Fuck it. Why not me? It's all right.
About that life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Why not, man? Yeah. Why not? So, but again, I'd rather him hear it from me, and I just felt I needed to address it because enough people kept talking to me about it, and I just want to make it clear, like, I don't retract the statement. I just think I was making an observation, which your team was happy to beat us, and I think they should be happy to beat us. So this is what I say to coaches that beat my teams. It is hard to beat my teams. Call it arrogant, call it whatever the fuck you want. We work hard in practice. You know that. Oh, yeah. We prep so much. My kids work so hard. They're constantly in the gym. I am just confident when we step on the fucking court. I am confident in what we can do. I tell teams, if you can beat my teams, good job, because it is hard to beat my teams. You know what I mean? And that's not an arrogance thing. I think any coach who's worth, his whistle has confidence in what he prepares his team to do. And so, what kind of coach would I be to walk onto a court like, hey man, we're just gonna try? Fuck no, we're gonna win. Right. All right. So, anybody out there who has a problem with that or has this misconception that it's some type of YBA arrogance, talk to me about it. That's the best thing I do. Talk to me about it. That's why I think for the last 4 or 5 episodes, I keep inviting coaches and people, come on the show, right? Come on the show if you have a disagreement with me. It's not about poking our chests out. It's not about saying, oh, my kids are better than your kids. We all have the common ground of basketball. Right. We all love this sport. Yeah. We all come from different backgrounds and have our own perspective. I just want to hear theirs, right? Mm-hmm. So, that's where I'm at with that. The other thing I want to address was the refs. It was a little rough this weekend.
Yeah, it was.
And I know refs have a hard job.
They do.
So Tet, don't kill me if you hear this, right? So
Tet's one of the good ones.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm only saying that because he'll probably coach my daughter at
Exactly. And some of the refs, man, it was tough this weekend, man. Best example I could give you guys, had a ref. this was on Friday with Anthony's team. Anthony got a tech, got ejected from the game, rightfully so, because he was
Anthony
stupid.
Being Anthony?
Yeah, pretty much. So he got called for a foul. The foul he got called on, I don't think it was a foul, but either way, it's whatever. He immediately gets called for the foul. He turns and says, what the fuck?
To the ref?
Hella loud. Yeah, hella loud. Like on court 2, the main court. He goes, what the fuck? He says, and he's like, that's not a foul, nigga. Like, loud as hell.
To the ref?
Yes, to the ref. And in my mind, I kind of was like, did he just say, like, so obviously they're like, Tech, get him out the game. Chris, get him out the game. I said, all right. He said, and as he's walking out the game, he's like, I ref too. I ref over at YBA. You're fucking terrible as a ref.
Anthony said that?
Anthony said all this, bro. He was all this. He was like, you stupid nigga, like that. I was like, oh my God. So I obviously had to grab and damn near choke him at this point, right? So I sit him down. This is where I say the ref went overboard. This is where he exceeded his power. He told me that I got to get Anthony off the bench and kick him out the gym. Okay. If we're going by high school rules, which is NFHS, for those who don't know, NFHS rules, that's what AAU goes under. You legally can't kick out anybody under 18 out of the gym. It's a liability thing. Right, just because they know Anthony can go over to YBA, like you can kick a kid out of a game and put him on the bench, and the assistant coach could like take him to the locker room, but you can't kick a child out of the gym. And I get it, Anthony's 6'7", big kid, so you're thinking like, and obviously people know my relationship with him, they know Ken, so they, get the fuck out the gym. Like, you can go to YB, but just because you know that, you can't.
And it's Rockland.
Yeah, and it's right, exactly. Like, you can't, and that was where me and the ref got into it. I said, I was like, he's on the bench, he's not saying anything, he's not going to play anymore. You're totally justified in what you did, but you can't kick him out the gym. And he stopped the game.
Wow.
Trying to get Anthony kicked out the gym, and I said, I'm not doing it. I said, he's a child. At the end of the day, I'm his responsibility. He's my responsibility. I'm the adult. He's the child. You cannot kick him out the gym. And so eventually we got it figured out and stuff. But I mean, it was a lot more intangibles to that. The ref started yelling at me, and I'm just saying that's one example. There was a lot of other examples of just some tough reffing this weekend. So, refs, I don't want to say try to do better. I want to say.
And I have a question because it kind of came up in one of our games yesterday is as a coach, when you're watching a game and you're watching two refs and you watch one ref literally calling every foul in the game and the ratio of calls between the two refs is ridiculous. It's like you got to look. I mean, as a parent, I'm looking at this going, okay, either one's not doing their job and just watching the other one, or the other one's just, whistle crazy. Yeah. So it'd be nice if they would get on the same page at least at some point, and because it creates a sense of, even if maybe there isn't unfairness, and that created. Some of our parents were very vocal yesterday, and that was I think that was the source of.
That's our parents right there. That's our parents. My parents are out there barking like dogs.
It was pretty. Yeah, it was interesting.
That's funny.
So no, refs. You have a tough job, man. I know you do, and I have a lot of friends of mine. They're my Facebook friends, personal friends that are refs. All I can say is, please try to just read the tone of the game, read the level of the game, and just adjust accordingly. That's the best thing I could do, and try not to flip out on too much. But again, it also circles back to players and parents. They got to do better too. They got to do better,
and they've got to realize. To me, as long as it's being called consistently, either you're calling everything or you're calling nothing, and you're doing it for both teams.
Exactly.
I don't really care, because then it's up to the coaches and the players to adjust to how it's being called.
Exactly. But like you said, if you have one ref either not doing their job or again, referee Ted definitely won't like me saying this or Carson, but I don't care. Refs are human. So stop acting like you don't have bias for certain teams, because you do. And don't act like you dislike certain teams, because I know there's times we've gone to Oakland or Martinez and all that, and I've literally had refs say, this ain't Hardwood Palace, this ain't YBA. And I'm like, first off, Hartwood Palace isn't YBA. You're absolutely accurate. Like, and then secondly, what the fuck does that have to do with this game? Like, they'll say that. Yeah. So, you know, refs, you gotta have thick skin to have the job. It just is what it is, or, you know, don't take the job.
Don't be petty.
Yeah.
Don't be petty.
That's what I'm saying, Mark. You lucky you ain't in this AAU world, man.
Yeah, I'm good. I just like to listen to your stories.
They don't get paid that much either.
No.
So it's like, if I'm going to get petty, I'm not getting, I'll go fine, I'll get petty. If you guys are paying me like $1 to rep this game, the only satisfaction I'm going to get is a call it against your kid. So I'm sympathetic.
Yeah, no, I get
Definitely
it.
sympathetic.
I want to do my team shout outs because, you know, every weekend I observe and watch teams and sit back and just definitely want to give you guys some good shout outs. Again, Robinson and the other, well, what I call them is the 16U YBA Elite Robinson team, right? I'm glad you guys are back. Like this group so far. Where we practice with them on Wednesdays. I think our scrimmages are going to be fucking crazy. Like, that's going to be some of the best basketball games you might see.
I might have to come through for that.
Our scrimmages are going to be, because even last scrimmage, even though that was our first one, it was.
You can tell it means something.
Yeah, it's. I mean, we won by like 2, but I mean, you know, as a player, bro, like the intensity of it, you could feel it. It was like, holy shit, this is a real game. It was like, it reminds me of like the Dream Team when they said like the best game they played was against each other. You know what I'm saying? Like it was. I feel like our practices are going to start to get like that.
There's so much history, and they're all, you know, they're two really good teams.
Yeah, so. and they all hate to lose.
Yeah,
that's a good thing.
So, you know, and that's what I'm trying to get Robinson and the rest of those guys to understand is we're under one umbrella now. You're back with YBA, you know, which means we're going to support you. I'm going to support you, you know, as best I can. Obviously, I'm going to support my team more, but I'm going to, you know, so because I have it's not like I don't want to see kids from other teams succeed. I absolutely do, but you're measured by your opponent, right? You're measured by your rival, the friendly rival, right? Yeah. So a team like the Hoyas, like Robinson's team, Sports Strong Elite, all the teams we've kind of rivalries we've had over the time, they help create us, you know? So I don't discredit them. I hope for parents, they got to stop taking it personal. You know what I'm kind of talking about?
No, I get what you're saying. And I think especially at the high school level, it's whichever team is the best team. It's really not, as long as they're playing top quality ball and getting the most challenge, it really doesn't matter. So
exactly.
It is nice to see them back, and nice to see some of those kids back with YBA.
I want to give a shout out to Chico Avengers. Not that they played this weekend, but Muhammad's with them in Texas. They went to there's a few big showcases going on this weekend. There's one in Arizona. Yep, that's one, and Houston, and Muhammad, my star 8th grader, is with that Chico team. So hope you're having a good time, kid, and hope you're out there winning. Hope you come back with a trophy. They're trying. Fred's trying to do everything to take Muhammad from me. Muhammad's like, I ain't going, bro. Like, you tripping. Like, he got him shoes. He got him all this free gear. Oh, bro.
Okay.
Muhammad's like, yeah, I'll take it. He literally texts me on IG like, I'm not going anywhere, coach. You know that, right? I was like, yeah, I know. I'm just, like I said, I'm all for kids playing for 2 teams or something. Go. If you're going to pay for my kid to go in a top-notch tournament and give them a bunch of free shit, I'm not going to say no to that. Go ahead and do it. Like, I'm all down for it. I want to also give a shout-out to Control Chaos. My boy Montel coaches that one. He's just one of my good friends, one of my good long-time friends. We've been friends 15 years, and he created his own program. He's doing a phenomenal job. He only has like 2 or 3 teams, but he's all about development, very, very much a cut of the same cloth like me. Sac Valley Elite, that's formerly Hot Shots Elite with Julian and Tay and those guys. I watched them play the other day. They played against Keandre's team.
Yeah, I was like, is that Keandre?
Yeah. Keandre with the dreads. And
I know.
Yeah, and it was a good game overall. But so Mark's like, so I've coached a lot of kids. I mean, I've coached a lot of kids. So a lot of kids that I've coached have kind of moved on and play for other teams. They always want to play against me now. It's crazy as hell. Like they're like, I want to go against your teams now, coach. I'm like, okay, whatever. So, but 2 of these teams had at least half their benches were kids I coached on both sides. And so I just sat there and watched the game and just was proud to, you know, watch them play and watch the growth. And I know the Coach Charles, you know, for that Sac Valley team. Glad he's back out there coaching. And you know, Charles, big shout out to you. So, you know, I think you're doing good. I want to give another shout out to 1440, even though sometimes they can be annoying as shit. At the end of the day, they are a good team, and we've been going back and forth with them these last 3 games. So, you know, I'm always can appreciate great competition. Again, you know, that game got a little testy towards the end and things like, but you know, that's basketball, man. It just is what it is. It's basketball. It's competitive. You know what I mean? And I'm all for that. Yeah. So
can I say something to this too? Because I was thinking earlier. Another thing AAU parents shouldn't do is yell at other AAU parents from other teams. That just looks horrid. It's like arguing across the court with a parent of another. It just looks bad.
Exactly, man. Bad. And it's just
I saw that also.
Yeah, like, I saw that too.
It's like stop.
I'm like, come on, man, because you know. And that's another rival program, like, you know. So, like, last time we played them, they beat us in pool play by 2. Then we played them in the championship of the last showcase that Elijah one did. We beat them by, like, 13 or 14. And then we just played them again yesterday in pool play, and they beat us by 5. Wow. So it's kind of this, you know, we're going back and forth. But, again, one thing I'll give credit Mamo on, he's kind of the director of that 1440 team. He wanted to play my team. He wanted to play my team. He wanted to play Robinson. He requested to play good teams. And so, again, if a coach is out there seeking out good competition, trying to push their kids, develop them, I'm good with that. You know what I mean? I hate losing, of course, but it's not about me. I always have to try to remember that. So,
I'd much rather have a game like that than the first game we played.
Right, where we just blew them out by that, where the coach wants to fight me because we're winning. Like, like
I would have paid to see that.
Oh, God. Thank you. I appreciate that.
See you throw down. That would have been good. I wouldn't have helped you.
It's all right.
I would have just watched.
You can call the police. We need someone to talk to.
I'm your designated.
Yeah, you're right. You need someone to talk to. Team Lift, that's the last one. I really like your coach. They played the 8th grade team that beat my 6th grade team, and they won. And that Team Lift is an actual 6th grade team. They won. They beat them by 3. I was like, wow. So, you know, coach from Team Lift, good job. You have a great group. Last time my 6th grade team played them, it was really competitive. Went down to the wire. I still lost by 5. So he was actually like, man, I was looking forward to playing your team again because we've only played each other once. And I was like, man, it'll happen next time. It'll happen next time. And then even James from Sac Valley, you know, Hot Shots, he came to me after they won. He was like, when we playing your team, coach? When are we playing Anthony and them? I said, I don't know, kid. I don't make the schedule.
Yeah, I miss watching James play when he was on your team. Yeah, he could jump out of the gym.
For real, super bouncy. So, no, that's, you know, it for my team shout out. So, no, I think that covers everything for today, huh? You got anything, Mark? Anything?
No, it was a really great show. I like the chemistry you guys have, so I'm definitely gonna start.
Is that what you call it?
I'm definitely gonna start. You know, when I go to the game, start watching that. You know, I'll be checking out Eli. So yeah, thanks for being here today.
No, I enjoyed it. Thanks for having me. I hope your podcast doesn't go downhill from here.
Well, you
old white dude.
No. You're Dre, man. Your perspective is what we needed. Your perspective is what we need. And then
thanks for
you know. Well, and you pay me, so that's cool too. So.
Yeah. By the way, don't you owe me some money?
You owe everybody, bro.
I know, man. I swear I do.
We'll talk after the podcast.
Well, no, I just want to say I appreciate everybody who's supporting. Appreciate everybody who's listening. You know, we're gonna keep trying to push good content. I've been talking to Dwayne from Matt Barnes Elite. He says he confirmed he really wants to do the show, so he might be our guest next week. I actually even got the week after that, the coach from Folsom Lake.
Oh, yep,
wants to be on our show. So for the women's side too. So it'd be great to have a college, another women's college coach here. And want to say thank you, Jay, again, for being here. We appreciate you. And Mark, glad to have you back.
Yes, sir.
Ty, always good to see you, behind the camera because he does great work. We plan to keep these episodes rolling. We plan to keep giving you guys great content. Please, again, follow us on Instagram. You can subscribe on YouTube. Even if you don't want to subscribe, hit the like button or just view it. Help our views go up, man. We're just trying to give a perspective, give some information out there for you parents, players, and professionals to this game. And, we just want to have fun doing it. Again, thank you for listening. I know it was my mom's birthday yesterday, so I got to say happy birthday to my mom.
Yeah, happy birthday. By the way, your mom's much better than you are.
Oh, thank you.
She's amazing, and Crystal loves her to death.
And you know what? She's funny. She said that too. She was like, how's my little sister doing? I
love your mom.
Next time we go to the Bay, definitely got to go stop by. Love you, Mom. I hope everybody has a good day, have a good week, and I guess we out.